There's a lot of different components when you're looking at the labor landscape. There's the JOLTS report, there's the quits rate, and there's some of these different, there's all these different components. Is there anything that's standing out to you right now as a little bit odd or something that just seems misplaced?
Yeah, well, I think the thing there's a lot of data, and actually, that's part of the benefit of labor market data is we really get to see it from a lot of different angles. So, part of my inclination related to employment data is you want to look at everything and kind of get that pointillist picture of what's going on. So, whether it's layoff announcements or initial claims, which I write about on a weekly basis, or the employment report, which has two different surveys, right? You've got a wealth. JOLTS is another one. You've got a wealth of these different pieces of information that you could sort of triangulate the general picture, right? And that I think is when you're thinking about macro in general, I think that's a really good lesson, because let me tell you, and you can always find data that supports a very positive conclusion or a very negative conclusion. There's no question about that. And let me tell you, Twitter is filled with people who have selected specific data that support a particular direction or set of views. And really the right way to do it is to look at the totality of the different pieces of information and kind of try and synthesize, like, probabilistically, where are we given all of this information? Does it look good? Does it look bad? Does it look kind of neutral, and kind of balance all those different things? The one piece in the whole thing I would focus on, because I think it has a nice linkage, JOLTS quits, I think, is a very important piece of the overall picture, because quits are people moving themselves out of the labor market. And when they move themselves out of the labor market, that moment creates tightness. And what brings you back in after you quit? Well, what typically brings you back in after you quit is an elevated wage, right? You're working, you say, this doesn't make sense to me, you quit, right? And what draws you back in is you find a better job, find a better opportunity, et cetera. And so that linkage of quits, the quit rate has not come down that much in the scheme of things. It's not nearly as extreme as it was, during the quiet quitting and mass quit thing. But like, quitting has been elevated for a long time. Even before COVID, quitting was a real, had been elevated. And that's the sort of thing that creates upward pressure on wages. It's pretty amazing, actually. The indicator that looks the best in terms of connecting to wages on a leading basis, on a 3 or 6 month leading basis, is actually the quit rate. And it's still pretty elevated.